Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. For all the sensors out there, I want to assure you that the New Health Conversation, we pride ourselves on staying within the community guidelines. And the reason we can do that is we don't make any claims. Everything that we share with our audiences is backed by peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. They're in the public domain, which means that everything we're sharing with them, they can go and see for themselves. We don't have to make up things. I've written 4 best-selling books of some of the top medical doctors. And again, at the New Health Conversation, we're the most compliant of anybody to stay within the community guidelines because we don't make outrageous statements. We don't make claims. Everything we do is backed by medical studies. Well, hello and welcome, everybody. Kehender, Lizette, Ellen, hello, everybody. And again, the question of the day, how did she lose 5 pounds a week? This podcast will tell you how. This is backed by 10, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. It took over 40 years. There were no products to buy. Let's start out with that. There were no products. The researchers who created this are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They had done 100 studies on human beings over 40 years, and they came to this big conclusion. No diet they ever studied in 40 years ever produced weight loss that was sustainable long term. We've got all kinds of medical evidence over here and other peer-reviewed human trial studies saying the era of counting calories is dead. It's over. It never should have been. First of all, does anyone actually know what the definition of a calorie is from a medical perspective? I'd love for someone to put it in the chat. But more importantly than that, your body does not count calories. It doesn't know what a calorie is. It could care less about calories. The only thing your body cares about, well, the 3 things that keep us alive: air, water, and nutrition. And the problem with any diet is that when you go on a diet, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming, but did you ever think you're reducing the amount of nutrition? When your brain senses there's not enough nutrition when you go on a diet, what does it do? It shuts down your ability to use the fuel in your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you all gain all the weight back, and 2/3 are going to weigh more than when they started. Again, it is not my opinion. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I'm a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I have appeared 20 times on PBS. I've done 1,500 live lectures around the world, and I wrote 4 best-selling books of some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. And I don't tell you that to impress you, but I want to let you know I'm just not some guy up here just yakking. Everything that we share with you is backed up, has been published in these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. In case you didn't know, there's nothing higher in medical investigation than a peer-reviewed human trial study. And this is the only protocol in the world with 10. Some of them may have 1. All the other studies that you're going to look at, they concentrate on only one thing, the weight loss. Well, we blow the weight loss away, as you can see. The main thing here is what's called the body composition, like what's going on inside the body. And that's what these researchers did. They did blood, stool, urine, fat, muscle analysis, liver enzymes, and found that people's health improved dramatically just in 30 days. Let me give you an example. Diabetics, and if you're a diabetic would know this, or if you're pre-diabetic, what the body is telling you is it needs more insulin to deal with the sugar. So what happens when you become insulin resistant? Well, it's not working, so you need more medication. The need for insulin in this, in just 30 days, came down, are you ready for this, by 41%. Hunger came down 41%. I hope you're all really curious about what in the heck did she do? How is this even possible? So I'd love for someone to put in the chat, well, it's just amazing to me that people are just, they don't think that this is real. How did she lose 5 pounds a week? I mean, here's her numbers. She lost 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches in 30 days. And we also offer free coaching and a free website. The link, there's your what you type in into Google, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website. There's nothing on there to buy. Now, your phone, all these influencers are coming on. You're buying programs that have no credible medical evidence behind them. None, zero. You know, people are talking about keto diets, for example. Well, in one of the big meta-analysis, I'll read to you what they said about keto diets. I think I've got it here somewhere. It'll shock you. But see, no one's really talking about this. Okay, keto, the ultimate diet scam. Rapid hype masking total long-term failure and hidden dangers. Keto, the crown prince of diet scams, promises fat-burning miracle by slashing carbs to under 50 grams daily, forcing the body into ketosis. It sparks rapid wins up to 10 pounds in just 2 weeks. But this is mostly water weight, glycogen depletion, and alarmingly 25 to 40% of lean muscle loss. Not true fat cell reduction, leaving you frail and primed for metabolic revolt. So did you hear that about keto diets? Some of you are on keto diets. Did you hear what they said? The majority, well, 25 to 40% of what you're losing is your lean muscle mass. You're mostly losing water. It's a total scam, 100% scam. All these diets are scam. The title of this is The Grand Myth of Traditional Diets, a devastating cycle of failure and false promises. Traditional diets, be they low fat, low carb, keto, carnivore, macro counting, obsessions, or latest fad like time restricted eating, such as the 16-8 method, seduce millions with vows of dramatic weight loss and radiant health. But the brutal truth, etched in decades of unyielding scientific evidence, shatters this illusion. These diets deliver fleeting illusions of progress, followed by inevitable regain, negligible long-term medical benefits, and a hidden toll on your body. Crucially, any weight loss masks a horrifying reality. 25 to 40% of its precious lean muscle mass, not fat, accelerating metabolic slowdown and frailty. This protocol, the people gain 6 to 9% lean muscle despite losing 20 pounds in a month. Does that all make sense to all of you? Who would like to know how they did it? I see lots of people coming on, lots of people getting off, etc. You're not even giving yourself a chance to change the rest of your life. You're so locked in. I'm not knocking you, but you're so locked into this nonsense about calories in, calories out. It's completely failed. They went through all the diets. They said traditional diets. It's just the grand myth of traditional diets, a devastating cycle of failure and false promises. And we've got the medical studies to prove it. We're not making claims. We're reading from these are the top weight loss researchers in the world saying stop counting calories. I've got it right here, Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. I'm not making a claim. I'm reading from what Harvard's saying. And they said, we've been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose about a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. They went on to say about calorie counting, Harvard Medical School. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's exactly what they did on this protocol that has nothing to do with Harvard Medical School. I would hope you'd all be curious. At a minimum, are you shocked? If we're not lying to you, if that's real, how could you not want to check it out when we give you a free website and we won't even contact you if you go to the website? We will not contact you if you go to that website. As a matter of fact, all you do, you'd go to Google, you'll type in, excuse me, you can see it there, the New Health Conversation. That's our brand, that's our movement. Many people are joining us now because the world's out of, and there's the link, and here's the website. There's nothing on that website to buy. The only thing there is the medical proof, including number one, is an exclusive podcast with the number one rated weight loss, nutrition, physiologist, researcher in the entire world, in the whole world. Do you want to listen to him or do you want to listen to somebody on social media giving you opinions? Because that's all they're giving you. I mean, I don't know how to be any more honest. You know, a lot of people don't like what I'm saying. I get it. But the science doesn't care. The science has no emotions. The science has no prejudice. The science has no pattern. Like the live, Wendy's saying that. Okay, Roman, Kitty, let's see, who else? Odaria. Again, we've got people on here. Michelle, Rowan 2020. Who would like to ask me a question about, but it's not just her. Look at this other woman. How about 35 pounds in 37 days? That's not Photoshop. That's real. With no exercise, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9%. Well, look at how much her body shrank. Look at that. Where's the loose skin? And then when you look at my friend's daughter, now you'll think this is Photoshop, but it's not. How about 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody? 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her legs, look at her, I mean, not her legs, but her stomach area. Can you take the chance that this is real? Can you, I mean, you're trying to think it's fake? But you have a free medical website to go to, and the only thing on the medical website is the proof, the medical proof, not a hype, not an ad. There's no products to buy here. So this isn't some capsule you're going to take or some magic elixir. Number one, they don't exist. I mean, that's number one. So let's talk about one more thing. You know, you hear when you get older, hello, Muhammad, you know, you hear when you get older that you can't lose weight. Look at this gentleman. Sorry. He's mid-60s, 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in just 30 days. 40.8, 52.5 inches in just 30 days with no exercise. But look at his blood work. Look at his lab work. He went from A1C 8.4 to 6.4 triglycerides. Invite more to co-host. I'm doing this more, but you need to accept the invitation for some reason. Yeah, you keep the live creator decline the invite. Okay. I get people all the time. They want to come on, and then I give them the permission, and then for some reason they don't want to come on. Maybe they don't like me. That's okay too. It doesn't. Your opinion to me doesn't matter. The only thing that should matter to you is the medical science we're making you aware of. We didn't create the research, we didn't do the research, but we're bringing you the results of the research, and that's what the website is all about. If you go there, the New Health Conversation, the only thing on there you're going to see is the medical proof. Now, let's talk about what did they do. You know, it's really amazing. It really is amazing that you're all so skeptical that you come on for like 10 seconds and jump off to something that could change the rest of your life. Have any of you ever lost 21 pounds in a month? Has anybody on here ever lost 21 pounds in a month? And she only had 30 pounds to lose. It's not like she had to lose 100. Or you look at April, my friend's daughter, that's 20 pounds a month. That's 5 pounds a week for 3 straight months. Would you like to know how she did it? Is anybody curious? I don't want to end up talking to myself. Even if one person wants to know how she did it, please put it in the chat and let me know. Otherwise, you can go to the website. You don't even have to listen to me. See it right there in blue? You put in Google, the New Health Conversation. It'll take you to the website. Also, you should notice free coaching. So what's my gimmick? There's no gimmick. You get coached for free the whole time, the consultation all the way through. The other huge part about this is it's all about maintenance. Like she's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. I think that would be of some kind of interest to you. I understand what you're struggling with. You've tried everything, nothing works, and this is just something else, or this guy's full of it, or BS, or whatever. It's not. This is, like I said, this has now been it's been published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. They're calling it the weight loss miracle. That's what they're calling it, as evidenced by the cover of Women's World magazine on June 9th, just about 6 weeks ago. These two women, over 50 protein miracle. The mom and daughter lost 140 pounds collectively. The daughter, a nurse, she's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds, 3 months. The mom, who's 80, because you don't advertise to get on the cover of Women's World. And then there's a huge article inside that they wrote about this. What do they call it? They call it the over 50 protein miracle. And then the title of the article they wrote about it is, hold on. Look, this is from the magazine. You all can see that. New protein miracle diet. That's the magazine calling that. Because these results, no one has ever seen a result like this before. And the weight loss is the least important part of this. So again, would anybody like me to go over how in the world did they do this? Or you can just simply go to the website. You see it there in blue, the New Health Conversation. Just type it in Google. It'll take you there, and we will not contact you. Did you hear what I said? We're not going to contact you if you go there. The only way we'll contact you is if you like what you see, scroll down, and there's several places, free coaching, free coaching, free coaching. The coaching is 100% free, no gimmicks. Let me repeat it again. The coaching is 100% free. There are no products. You don't buy anything from us. You don't buy anything from the researchers. What they did, the researchers, now listen to me carefully. The researchers, who are the top-rated weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, for more than 40 years, had done 100 studies on human beings on every kind of diet you can imagine. And sadly, they never found a diet in 40 years where people, well, 2/3 of people ended up weighing more than what they lost initially, and almost everybody went back to their starting weight. So they never saw a diet that was successful. And the main reason for that is we're all focused, or we have been up until now, on counting calories. Well, number one, I'm still waiting for someone to put in the chat if they know what the definition of a calorie is, because you're all counting calories, and I didn't know what they were 24 years ago, so I don't feel bad. But you're counting calories. Why? Your body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. So the researchers knew this, and they said the reason diets don't work is this. A diet is nothing more, I don't care what the name is, it doesn't matter what the diet is. You're getting less food, which means you're getting less nutrition. And when your brain figures out you don't have enough nutrition to run all the organs, see, your body runs on nutrition. It doesn't run on calories. It has nothing to do with calories. So the problem is when you drop the amount of food and drop the amount of nutrition, the brain thinks you're starving to death because in a sense you are from a nutritional standpoint. And to counteract the lack of fuel, the body has no choice, but it begins to use your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism and slowing down your own immune system. That's why you gain all the weight back. You literally can't burn as much fuel. It's not calories really, it's fuel. But this is how the researchers figured out how to do this. So they said, we're going to do a new thing. No, on this protocol, everybody, no counting calories. No counting calories at all. It's 100% based on serving sizes that the researchers determined, not just those serving sizes, but the foods you're actually going to eat. And they picked them out based on one criteria, how much nutrition they had, not how much food you were eating. It doesn't matter how much food you eat if you don't have enough nutrition. That's why processed food is so ridiculous. It's got almost was pretty much no nutrition at all. So you're giving yourself, sugar and carbohydrates, et cetera, but you're not giving yourself really long, sustainable, because you eat and have a candy bar and then 30 minutes later you're hungry again. So the researchers picked out a group that you would go to the grocery store, 30% of which you would consume. You get a grocery list for free from our coaches. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And again, serving sizes, but only 30% of what you're going to consume. The other 70%, and here's why it worked. The other 70%, which you don't buy from the researchers and you don't buy from us. These other researchers that spent more than 20 years going around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition that you can't get at your store. Even if you do organic, it's not even in the same ballpark. And then what they created, based on this new principle of the amount of nutrition in their food, not how much food we're consuming or nothing to do with calories, they created a new way of eating. It's called protein pacing. Notice the word pacing. So 5 days a week, you would start your day with these the researchers call these foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint, which is the only thing your body cares about. Not keto or paleo or all nonsense, just nonsense, right? Again, based on the medical evidence, right? Now, 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with the world's most perfect meal for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, the world's most perfect meals. You ever been on a diet where they're letting you have 4 meals a day? 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, that's called protein pacing. But the other part of protein pacing was 2 days a week. She did something, don't get spun out on me. Let me finish. Intermittent nutritional. Notice the word nutritional. Intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods or the world's most perfect meals. But this time, you'd eat 8 times a day. You're eating every hour and a half. Now, what's interesting, the diabetics on this, no insulin spikes. Number 2, people like her, and people weighed 300 pounds. She didn't weigh 300. They weren't hungry. The one thing we can teach you is you're not hungry for calories. Please understand that. It's an impossibility. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. How could you be hungry for a calorie? And you're all concentrating on, how many calories is in here? No. The only thing that matters to determine whether you're full or not is nutrition. Okay, so in a month's time, what did they find? Number 1, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. Hunger came down 41% in a month. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all came down dramatically in 30 days. And for the first time ever, they measured inflammation, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there. It came down by 25% in a month. No paleo, keto, Mediterranean fasting has ever shown an ability to reduce inflammation. But here's the number one reason to do it, and it's based on a new medical syndrome that's been discovered called TDOS. T stands for toxins, D stands for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. Peter Greenlaw, who's that? Oh, I guess that's me. I did discover it. And that's not why I'm telling you. What the researchers did, the number one reason to do this, secret's out, it's a detox. It is not a weight loss program. The weight loss is a throw-in. That's like that's like almost the booby prize. It's so dramatic. So they measured through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and muscle analysis that this protocol, they measured it. They saw herbicides and pesticides and Scotch guard and chemicals coming out of the body. And the reason we have all the extra weight on our body is it's because the fat cell is causing us to store the chemical in the fat cell and also retain more water, for example. So when the body, when you ingest through breathing, eating, drinking chemicals, the body's taking that chemical and stuffing it inside your fat cell, and your fat cell expands. Don't let anybody tell you that you burn fat on a diet or through exercise. It's a lie. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and those fat cells expand or contract. So look at her stomach and her hips on day one, everybody, if you can see that. Let me change the camera angle just a little so my head's not blocking the whole darn thing. Okay, there. Look at her hips and her stomach on day one. Look at her hips and her stomach on day 30. No exercise, no sit-ups, no crunches, no sauna. There's your, well, and they proved it medically. The reason her fat cells shrank because the body was pulling the chemicals out of the fat cell that caused the fat cells to expand in the first place. You all know, you're complaining to us, whether it's 10 pounds, 20, 30, 40, 50, it's not just the weight, what bothers you, it's the amount of fat you have, especially around that abdomen, diaphragm, and waist area. Do you know that most women on this lose a whole dress size in 7 days with no exercise? Men lose 2 to 4 inches off their waist in 7 days with no exercise. Now, the researchers aren't against exercise, but for purposes of this, they had to eliminate exercise as a condition. Otherwise, you'd think that it was diet and exercise, and it was exercise you lost the weight. So, anyway, I'm going to conclude this. I'm going to walk through one more time, and I'll go through it pretty quickly for all of you and anybody that is interested. The most important thing you do, you see in blue above your head, the New Health Conversation. You actually can go to the website through Google, type in the New Health Conversation. There it is, the New Health Conversation, okay? Hold on. There's the website. Click on the link, and up comes the website, and there's nothing to buy on that website. We will not contact you if you go to the website. But number one is an exclusive podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, where he says they will never, after 40 years of research, they've abandoned any form of traditional diet, and they're doing this. So let's talk about what this is. So the main principle was really pretty simple. Your body doesn't care or know what a calorie is. It only cares about nutrition. So the researchers put together food lists with the #1 quality of the food they were going to recommend to you or to her had to have high levels of nutrition. So they put together a list that you'd take to your grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, but they weren't based on calorie amounts. They were based on serving sizes. Got it? The other 70% did not come from the United States. You can't buy it at a grocery store. It came from these other researchers who've gone around the world for 20 years to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition. So now they had 30% of the food from the United States and 70% from these faraway locations, which the researchers have, called those foods the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint, not the 30% of which you're taking from your grocery store. Then they created a new way of eating because it was based now, they had all this nutrition, but they had less quality of food. So what they did, 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with what the research called the most perfect meal in the world from a nutritional standpoint: breakfast, lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery, and a 4th meal after dinner. Imagine you're on a diet, you're having 4 meals a day. That's what they did, right? 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods or world's most perfect meals. But this time she ate 8 times a day. And for my diabetic friends, nobody had insulin spikes. People weighing 300 pounds were not hungry. Because the whole point is you can't be hungry for a calorie. Your body doesn't even know what it is. And in a month's time, they proved that hunger came down 41%. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all came down. But the big one was they proved that this, first and foremost, what is this? It's a detox. And they proved it. They measured blood, stool, urine, fat, and muscle analysis, with the first 4 being how they proved this was helping the body remove chemicals. And the reason her stomach shrank so much is not because she exercised, because no one was allowed to exercise. It was because she was detoxing, and the fat cell, which we're storing chemicals in, and that's why you have all that bloat on your body, you can see how much they shrank from day 1 to day 30. Okay? And so in closing, because I do have to go, but you see the New Health Conversation right there. Type in Google, go there. I promise on my kids' lives, my grandkids' lives, we're not going to contact you. Absolutely not. We will not contact you. I promise you, right? So, hi, Lexi. No, there's no supplements. It's food, Lexi. It's food. I apologize because I do have to go. I've got another big conference call I have to be on. And I'll probably, just to let you know, in case you wanted to come back, let's see, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. I probably would come back on around 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today. It's just I have to cut this one a little bit short. But honestly, Lexi, everything you want to know is on the website. And then notice it says the free coaching. The coaching is 100% free. They'll show you how to order from the grocery store. Show you how to order directly from these suppliers who've gone around the world to find these foods. And then they'll teach you how to do it. Okay, everybody? Does that make sense, Lexi? All right, everybody, I got to sign off. Everybody have a wonderful day. And like I said, I'll probably come back on around 2 Eastern Standard